What's up, fight fans? You're listening to Boxing Life. This video is about the only time that Floyd Mayweather has suffered an official knockdown. And by official, I mean one where the referee actually administered a count. Now, it's not what you think when you hear the word knockdown, as you are about to see here. The incident in question took place in his fight with Mexican Carlos Hernandez, back in 2001 when Mayweather was fighting at 130 pounds. Mayweather was controlling the action and winning the fight comfortably. However, in the sixth round, he threw a left hook that landed high on the head of Hernandez. It was clear to see that something was wrong as soon as the punch landed. Mayweather immediately grimaced in pain, and turned away, causing his left glove to touch the canvas. Now, as you boxing fans are probably already aware, the rule is that if any part of your body, apart from the soles of your feet, touch the canvas, then it is classed as a knockdown. So in this instance, referee Dale Grable correctly ruled it a knockdown, and gave Mayweather a standing 8 count. Mayweather suffered from a lot of hand problems through his career, and this was the issue here yet again. In an interview he later described feeling a jolt of pain shoot down his arm and down his spine as he connected on the left hook. After this fight, Floyd actually called it one of his toughest fights to date, and stated that he was very disappointed with his performance. Floyd ended up winning the fight by a wide majority decision on all the judges' scorecards. Take a look at the sequence of events that led to the knockdown now.
Meanwhile, Hernandez is just digging away, trying to stay chest to chest with Mayweather. Gets a chance to hit Floyd after the referee said stop.
4.
And this is going to be called a knockdown against Floyd Mayweather.
7.
And he motioned Jim about his hand. A short left to the head. A delayed reaction. I'm just curious if he went down more because his hand hurt him than because he was hit.
It wasn't because of the punch. It wasn't because of the punch.
So this was the only knockdown of Floyd Mayweather's career, as it is the only time a referee has given him a count. However, as many of you fans will be screaming at me right now, he has in fact been knocked down by a punch, but on this occasion the referee did not rule it a knockdown, so he did not receive a count. This took place in his fight against Zab Judah. Zab Judah was a very skillful southpaw who gave Floyd a lot of problems in the early rounds of their fight. It was looking as though Zab Judah was going to be a hard night's work for the money man. This became even more apparent when at one point, Judah managed to time Floyd perfectly as Floyd was throwing a lead right hand to the body. Zab, who was a southpaw, caught Floyd with a right hook that sent him off balance and caused him to touch a glove on the canvas. For some reason, the referee declared it a slip and not a knockdown. However, it is clear for everyone to see that his glove touched the canvas. Commentators that included former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis, agreed that it should have been a knockdown as Floyd's glove touched down.
The right glove definitely touched the ground. Yeah.
So in reality, this is the only knockdown of Floyd Mayweather's career. It is truly remarkable that in 50 fights, spanning several different weight classes, fighting top fighter after top fighter, that this is the only time he has touched a glove down, and has never been put on his back, like most fighters have at some point in their career. This is not to say, however, that at times he has not had to demonstrate a very good chin after being hit with powerful punches. This has occurred on several occasions, and we will go through a few of these now. In his fight with DeMarcus Corley, he was hurt numerous times. If you want to see an all-action Floyd Mayweather fight, I recommend you go check this one out. Corley, like Judah, was a southpaw and managed to land some good right hooks that hurt Mayweather. At one point he hit Floyd with a huge right hook that sent him into a defensive posture against the ropes. Corley attempted to follow up on his success, but failed to do so.
3-0, 30-27. Floyd Mayweather. Well, he's in trouble now as DeMarcus Corley once again catches him and now tries to go to work against the ropes.
A right hand.
Floyd adjusted and managed to win the majority of the rounds to defeat DeMarcus Corley. As many of you have probably also seen before, there was also the fight with Sugar Shane Mosley. In this fight, Shane Mosley landed a huge right hand, flush on the chin of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd was visibly hurt bad, and moments later, in the same round, Shane Mosley landed another devastating right hook to the temple of Floyd Mayweather. Once again, Floyd swayed and seemed like he was about to go down. Floyd managed to stay on his feet and back up to the ropes. We had rarely seen Floyd Mayweather in this situation, looking this vulnerable, and taking huge punches from his opponent. It seemed to many at the time, like the first loss of Mayweather's spectacular career was about to take place.
Against Shane Mosley, who drills over the top like that. Then he gets hit and buckled there, nearly floored.
Yet again, Floyd Mayweather adapted, and made the necessary adjustments, and went on to win every single round after this one. Mayweather changed his tactics, and decided to walk down Mosley, and put him on the back foot. Mosley barely landed another good punch throughout the fight, and was clearly outclassed, as Floyd could hit him at will, while Mosley struggled to land a glove on Floyd. It went from one of the most worrying moments of Mayweather's career, to one of his most dominant performances. It was at this moment that many fans realized that Mayweather was more than just simply a defensive genius. He also had a solid chin and possessed a lot of punch resistance, despite not needing to show this quality in the majority of his fights. He was also hit with a very solid right hand in his second fight with Marcos Maidana. In this instance, Maidana actually showed some very high-level boxing IQ, contrary to what many fans view him as, which is a rough and rugged power puncher, with not a lot of skill. As you may know, Floyd Mayweather likes to use the pull-back counter, where he pulls back from an opponent's jab, and counters over the top with a right hand. He was using this technique a lot in the Maidana fight, however Maidana noticed a pattern and decided to bait Floyd into a trap. Maidana threw his jab, and anticipated Floyd's counter, dropping underneath it, while simultaneously throwing a right hand of his own, exactly where he knew Floyd's head would be. The punch was perfectly timed, and it was very surprising to see Maidana's ability to notice Floyd's counter and adapt to the situation. The shot clearly shook Floyd up, as he looked shaky sitting down in his corner, but luckily for him, this all occurred in the final seconds of the round, so he had a minute to gather himself and clear his head. Once again Floyd adjusted, and won the fight by a wide margin on points. The final time we are going to look at when Floyd Mayweather has had to demonstrate a good chin, was in his super fight with Manny Pacquiao. As you see here, Manny landed a solid left hand on the chin of Floyd Mayweather, sending him onto the ropes in a defensive posture. Manny followed up with a combination, but for some strange reason, called off the attack. Floyd shook his head, and declared he was not hurt, which probably meant that he was. This was probably the best punch that Manny landed on Floyd in the fight, and it was still nowhere near enough. Floyd took the punch and yet again, made adjustments and went on to dominate Pacquiao and win the fight by a comfortable margin. These moments demonstrate exactly why Floyd Money Mayweather is considered by many, as one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. He has displayed his ability on numerous occasions to overcome adversity, and every single time, come out on top. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, comment and subscribe if you have. Until next time, you've been listening to Boxing Life.